Hey everybody, Ryan Kwan here, and today I am taking a look at the Poetic quarterback case for the Apple iPad Pro. This is for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Hopefully they have a version coming for the 9.7-inch iPad Pro very soon, but for now, this is just for the 12.9-inch. So once again, this is called the quarterback. It's from Poetic, as you can see here on their branding on the case. And you've also got this Poetic logo here as well, which is a really nice touch. Like the way that looks. And just overall, it's a really sharp looking case. Pricing right now, it's going for $12.95 on Amazon. And of course, I will have the link to the case in the video description, so be sure to check it out. This is the black on black. There's also a green on yellow, red on dark blue, sky blue on black, and lastly a white on dark red. And all those cases are available through that link in the description, so go check it out. So what this case is pretty much, as you can see, it's a minimal style case. It's not going to cover the screen at all, and it's kind of a hybrid case also in a sense. You've got some components of plastic here on this, what looks to be like an X frame, and on this part it's just all TPU. So the best way to show you guys is right here. It really highlights the components of plastic right here, and then on the inside you've got this TPU shell on the inside. And on the inside you can also see all these patterns, and according to Amazon, the picture they have, these patterns will help to absorb shock as well. And overall, I just think it looks really cool. So you've got 4 screws here as well for this really rugged design, camera cutout, and this beehive texture look as well, which just overall makes the case look pretty sharp. I've got the iPad Pro right here, and I will install it simply by putting it in to the right side of the iPad Pro and just snapping in the 2 corners. So as you can see, this whole space is wide open, and that's just so that you have space to put on the smart keyboard for the iPad Pro. So you want to make sure you get the buttons inside first. There you go. And then just snap the corners in. Make sure everything's in there. And there we go. Okay, so I have the case installed on the iPad Pro now, and as you can see here on the side, it adds barely any thickness to the iPad Pro, just about a few millimeters of thickness, and so it's a very minimal case. Now, one thing I want to address is something I read on the Amazon page for this case, is that some people were complaining about the weight of the case, saying that it's a bit too heavy and heavier, if not as heavy as the iPad Pro. And so what I did was, just to test it out, was I got the case by itself, weighed it on my scale, and the reading came out to actually 14.6 ounces. So it's not quite a pound, which makes it not as heavy as the iPad Pro or heavier than the iPad Pro. It's lighter than the iPad Pro at 14.6 ounces. But at the same time, it is not really the lightest case in the world. 14.6 ounces is a bit of heft for a case. So that is something to keep in mind, because with the case and the iPad Pro, the total combined weight comes out to about 2 pounds, which is not the lightest thing to manage around, especially if you're really young and you don't have the forearms or the strength to support such a device. Just for a regular adult, I would say it's very manageable. It really just depends, I guess, on how you handle the device. If you're using 2 hands on it all the time, like so, or like so, very manageable. However, if you do a lot of one-hand work with the iPad Pro, which I wouldn't even do that without a case, but if you do have to do that, definitely adds a bit more tension to your arms and your wrists. So that is something to keep in mind. It's not really the lightest case in the world, but there are some trade-offs with that, or some benefits from that. And of course, that is the awesome design and the rigidity of this case. I mean, just the way it feels and the heft, I can just feel that it's going to be a very protective case. If you drop it on the corners at least. If you drop it on the front, you're kind of screwed. You do have a raised lip here, as you can see, for a bit of land on table protection, but overall, if you don't have some sort of glass screen protector or some sort of screen protection, you're kind of screwed. So there's that. And of course we have this cutout here for the connector here so that you can also put in the smart keyboard from Apple for the iPad Pro and lay it across and do some typing. Now I don't have the smart keyboard, so I can't really demonstrate that, but that is something that is available. So these parts here act as a holder for the Apple Pencil if you bought one for the iPad Pro. So I don't have an Apple Pencil, but what I do have is just a regular old stylus here. This has a rubber tip, and what you can do is, just as a demonstration, simply snap your stylus in here. This stylus has about the same length and thickness as the Apple Pencil, so it works just fine for this demonstration. So you guys get the idea. You just snap it in like so, and you have your Apple Pencil if you bought one and the iPad Pro, and you can just take it with you on the go like so. So that's pretty much the highlight feature of this case. It gives you this holder for the Apple Pencil. It gives you this really nice looking design, very protective. And just lastly, let's go over the cutouts here before ending the video. So you've got cutouts up here for the speakers, headphone jack, speaker, power button, and on the right side you've got coverings for the volume rockers and a cutout for the microphone. On the bottom here you've got cutouts for the speaker, lightning port, and the other speaker. And of course on this side you've just got the wide opening cutout for the smart keyboard and the keyboard connector right here. So that's going to do it for this video on the Poetic quarterback case for the Apple iPad Pro. Once again, this is for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, but hopefully the 9.7-inch version is coming out very soon. And to stay updated, I will update the video description down below, so be sure to check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next video.